So this last 2 days we will try to discuss mainly the fourth point. If you have grasping, you have no view. Although in the earlier days we have already we had few discussions about shunyata, emptiness, interdependent arising. Of course, if this last point is basically the wisdom, the teachings on the wisdom. This is not easy, especially for those who are not accustomed to. I think those who are not accustomed to, first of all, the Indian way of constructing the logic, and then also particularly the Madhyamika, if you are not accustomed to the Madhyamikan approach to the truth, the ultimate truth. Comes from the Dunga that that's the thing. Zinda Java Toron, and shoot the ship, never in the Taban, never in the Torim, Nigamaka Nishibi. Imaging on the Tonga, Chirpin Simji, Chata Onju Nasa. Junji Chicken Macharo, Semi Jingan of Tonga. Now I can imagine painting the June, painting the Ottawa, in Jabba Mississippi, judging on the Congress. Okay, the Tibetan word for Tibetan word Nanjar, I guess is translated from yoga or something like that. Therefore, Nanjar Pa or Nanjar Ma, yogi or yogini. among many other, connotations, null, jur, has this null is something to do with a normalcy or normality, completely normal. Then there is, the word jur is easy. Jur basically is something like a wealth, endowment. So, nanjurpa, yogi is someone who is endowed with the wealth of being normal. Now, this is kind of, very crude, translation. So it's don't rely on this too much. Already I can see the professional translators raising their eyebrows. But that's actually one of the connotations is null, jur, null, nalma. In a Tibetan word is something natural, normal. But definition of normal is just infinite. Especially the psychologists will know. Definition of normality is infinite. What makes something normal? This is what Jilin Mr. Jensen, again and again imaging on a kangaroo, semi-imaging on a kangaroo, judging on a kangaroo, even within the short stanzas, he has expressed this 3 times. Normality has something to do with not being fabricated, not altered, not poured. This is actually a kind of, I must say, this is one of the unique thinking of Asia, I must say. Maybe this is, being a little biased, but as you know, the Indian philosophy, and especially in Buddhism, and especially Tantric Buddhism, really cherishes the wealth of being not fabricated. Fabrication is something that all these great masters of the past and the teaching, even in the Maitreya, in the Uttarakhand, there is nothing to eliminate, there is nothing to contribute, or there is nothing to place. Just keep it as it is. If you know as it is, then you will be liberated. Stuff like that. So this is the Maitreya speech, and there's so many of that. When a famous event of Shantideva slowly disappearing up in the sky, uttering these words like, when nothing is being caught by mind or perceiver, that is the sort of the wisdom and so on and so forth. So I feel that in Asia, in the past, normality, I think both definitely in India, also in China. I don't know so much about Taoism, but when you read books like Tao Te Ching, I can sort of gather what this guy is saying is, don't fabricate, don't move, don't pause, just let it be, because the downfall begins when you are beginning to name, when you begin to label, when you begin to poke, when you begin to pose, fabricate, then all the downfall begins. Now, in Buddhism, this is true, much more true than anything else. This is much more the case, especially in the Mahayana Buddhism. Letting it be, letting things, I shouldn't say things, normality, the completely natural, normal. So what is it that is poking and posing and fabricating? What is it? That is not letting us think, exist as it is. It is the dualism, of course. Always going back to the dualism. Dualistic mind talks, alters, fabricates, generates, labels. Of course, then, once you do that, you then cling, grasp, then all the attachment could begins. So, actually, Sharabji Bharatashimba, the Prajana Paramita, or wisdom mind is the mind that is not fabricated, that is not posed, that is not altered, that's totally in its natural state, as it is. This, when you have that wealth, when you're endowed with that wealth completely, then you are referred to as the Buddha. Even as you are approaching to acquire this wealth, maybe in smaller amounts, smaller doses, but you are accumulating this wealth of being natural, then you are referred to as a yogi or yogini, someone who is trying to cultivate this wealth of being natural. So, basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to discuss so-called the wisdom mind, because if you have a grasping, you have no view, right? But when we talk about a view, we are automatically talking about a viewer. Have to. The subject. What is the subject that does not grasp? That does not grasp. What is that subject? It has to be wisdom. So, in a way, from the very highest level, if you think that everything is emptiness, not good. You are grasping, you are altering, you are pausing. Even as you are thinking everything is emptiness, everything is disappeared, like that. And actually, thinking everything disappeared is really not good. That is not emptiness meditation at all. That actually is condemned by Chandrakirti, something like basically emptiness is not like a bulldozer. That you use emptiness to dismantle the mountains, dismantle the house, dismantle the table, dismantle everything what you have, and then think now everything is gone, everything is emptiness. That is never the case, of course, because that is nihilism. That is like really, really nihilist, negative altering, negative fabricating. Mr. Thakur just clearly states here, those who are grasping as things exist, they have no liberation. Those who believe that those who grasp at non-existence, they have no higher birth. Forget about enlightenment. They don't even have the higher birth. Those who alter in between these two, or those who think both ways, they are ignorant. So this wisdom mind, or this wisdom, is what we are trying to cultivate. And as I was saying from the day one, why should we not attach to our life? Why should we not attach to this life? Why should we not attach to samsaric life? Why should one not be attached to selfish agenda? Or in order to accumulate this wisdom mind. Now, only the tantric tradition claims, since we are not studying Tantra, we should use words like that. Tantric people claim that they can establish this wisdom mind without actually relying on analysis and examples. Or they claim that they have much better analogy. In the Mahayana Buddhism, establishing this view, establishing this wisdom mind, you have to first use the analysis, plus you can use the analogy. Then lung, which is the words of the Buddha, in order to support what you have analyzed. That's in the Mahayana, and this is what we are doing right now. So we use lots of different analysis. For this reason you need the hearing and contemplation. Now, in the Tantrayana, okay, so in the Mahayana, analysis such as Chandrakirti or Nagarjuna's or Shantarakshita's technique, and many other techniques like Buddha Palita, Bhava Viveka's way of analyzing and establishing this wisdom, this view or wisdom mind, however you want to put it. View is basically a name given to the object, kind of objective-oriented mind, objective-oriented term, and wisdom is more subject-oriented term. Analogy usually in the Mahayana is, as we have already used, like mirror, your face, like that, or mirage, rainbow, things like that. So the analogies are like that everything is an illusion, everything is like a rainbow, everything is like a dream. The quotation of the Buddha, of course there's many, from many of the Mahayana sutras. Preferably sutras that does not require interpretation. A very, direct sutras, such as Prajna Paramita sutras, like a Prajna Paramita Hridya, like a Hat Sutra. Form is emptiness, emptiness is form. Straightforward. You can basically take it literally. Now in the Tantra, of course, they claim that they have much better examples. The analysis is similar actually. They claim that they have much better examples. And in fact, some of the tantric method, for instance, the tradition of, in the Sakyappa's case, Khonde Yerme, the non-differentiation of samsara and nirvana, Mahamudra from the most of the Gaggiva tradition, Mahasandhi of the generally the Nyingma tradition. They claim that if you encounter a student with the right condition, all the favorable circumstances there, and the master who has already have some realization, if all these conditions are gathered, you don't need analysis, you don't need analogy. You can actually get it through pointing out instructions. Now the reason why I'm telling you this is, within the Sakya tradition, the pointing out is done. Each of these lineage is different. They have a slightly different angle and approach, which is wonderful because that's what we need. It's a bit like going to, restaurant, and if the restaurant has lots of choice of food, that's good. So each lineage has a different. Within the Gaggiva tradition, there's many different lineages, and each lineage has a different expression, usage of language, and the timing of the language, which language, or which phrase, or which idioms should they use first.